Hello and welcome. Yes, I am back now with a new show that I was dying to see. I was dying to watch. So, let me go with this introduction first before I get to this. Okay, Yuri. The rise of Yuri anime are now ascending. You know, ever since Citrus, I fucking love Citrus. Ever since Citrus came out, I loved it so much that not only I collect all the volumes of it, and I got Citrus Plus, I also love the rise of Yuri and it's talking about. Like, we just had another Yuri anime before this one came out, where those two girls was kissing, and I saw the scene, and it was called The Magical Girl, The Revolutionary something. I forgot the name of the title, but that came out this winter. Now we got another show that is this spring coming around, is Yuri Is My Job. Now, I love Yuri animes, and I say this before and I'll say it again. The rise of Yuri animes is getting there. We got more Yuri animes coming out this year. And Yuri Is My Job is going to be one of those shows that really will transcend the ways of Yuri. Now, I get it. There are some high-level Yuris out there. Shows like Valkyrie Drive Mermaid. Trust me, you guys might want to watch Valkyrie Drive Mermaid. And there's some other ones. Bloom Into You, Citrus, Sakura Trick, Yuri Kuma, The Comedy Girl Love, Yuri. You know, there's some other ones. Oh, Akuma no Riddle. There are some... I try to remember a few in my head, but there's a lot of Yuris out there. That said Sakura Trick? Yeah, I did. Okay, so this Yuri Is My Job show, this first episode really caught my eye when someone recommended it and I saw the trailer. And it's the same studio that gave us Harem Labyrinth in Another World. The same studio that gave us Citrus. The same studio that gave us Rail Wars. You know what I mean? The same studio. The same studio that gave us one of the best animes, if not the best animes of all time, Interspecies Reviewers. And because of that, we got a new and because of that, once again, they're back now with a show that I'm dying to see. Yuri Is My Job. Oh, and by the way, the same studio that made Mitsu-chan, little girl who can see ghosts, that's right there as well. So, without further ado, let's get right to with this Yuri Is My Job episode 1 review, because I gotta get this out the way. Okay. The opening gave us a kind of an introduction, a stage play, with Mai. Now, the thing is, my first time looking at Mai, guys, the first thing that came to my mind was that she's Ruka from Rent-A-Girlfriend. With the bow, with the hair and the bow on her head, I'm like, oh my God, this is so Ruka, Rent-A-Girlfriend. They're pulling off a Rent-A-Girlfriend vibe, everyone. They're pulling it off. So again, it gave us an introduction about the girls and their past, what they did, what they do outside, and what they do in the job of this. But that's what this show is basically about. Yuri Is My Job is just like, what would have happened? The concept of Yuri Is My Job is, what would have happened if you take a classic show like Citrus, a Yuri anime, you put it with a comedy show like Blend S, you merge these two together, you stir up the pot, and then they just put on a show, and you sprinkle it with the Orin High School Host Club. And then you guys remember Owen High School Host Club, Kiss, Fall in Love part. You sprinkle that in, and then you got Yuri Is My Job. That's what it is. And so the storyline behind this show is that there's this girl named Hime. Not Hime, not that bullshit. We ain't doing that no more. We ain't talking about that Yamushi pedal. So this girl, bright, blonde-haired, blondie girl named Hime, she's the most prettiest girl of all. Everybody likes her. Kind of like Umaru-chan. Everybody likes Umaru-chan, but inside she's an otaku. But anyway, Hime is just a popular girl. All the boys like her. All the girls wish she was her. She's friends with everyone. But in that cruel smile, In that cruel smile, all she wants is just this is just an act. This is just an act. I gotta prove. She wants to stay cute 100%. To her point and goal in life, her goal is to marry a rich, famous person. That is the goal. Marry a rich person and live happily ever after. That is the goal. Kind of like how Yuzu is in Citrus. Yuzu wants to get married to a famous person, that kind of thing. That's that. Now, as she leaves, doing her daily routine, she bumps into May, the new girl. She bumps into the new girl named May, who I said she looked like Ruka with their bow. Bumps into her, and immediately, during that fall, she hurt her wrist, so she can't participate. She can't work. But she's like, okay, we can fill you in. Look, we can fill you in. Come on. So they're like, you have to take her place because now she's hurt. Plus, I didn't know she was a manager. I'm surprised. Like, how is she a manager? How is she a manager? Like, how old she is? Is she really a third year? Is she in her 20s? I don't know. I'm just taking a guess, but I'm like, she owns a cafe. She's the manager. I'm like, okay, how old is she? But anyway, so, and then we met new characters called, one of them is Sumika. She's a gal. Hajime no gal status. She's a gal, everyone. But she is really hot. Well, I ain't gonna say that. She's really hot. Anyway, she put her against the wall like every other gal would do to a girl and say, you're gonna take her place. So because the manager hurt her wrist, she had to take, Hime has to take her place being in role of this theme cafe, like Blend S. You know how Blend S has a theme where they do like smile, sweet, sister, sadistic, that kind of thing is like this. So they had to play a role in this cafe called the Libre Girls Academy. It's a sweet, adorable, high-class academy, And while Hime got there, she first encountered Mitsuki. Now, I don't know much about her. I don't know much about Mitsuki. The one with the long purple hair, I don't know much about her. Her backstory, I don't know much about it. I think we're going to get more into that detail of her backstory later and why she's in this cafe. Like, I feel like every episode as it moves on, I want to know what made them got into this, working in this, what's their reason behind working in this cafe? You know what I mean? There's got to be a reason. Now, for this, they have to put on a show. The Yuriness is pure, innocent, not heavy strong. Like, when I first read Yuri's My Job, I always thought to myself, why is this called Yuri's My Job? But now I see why. It's like they have to put on a Yuri show. So you got Sumika, who, they roles is different. Like, you got Sumika, who's like playing like a reader, like the cool, energetic reader like this. She's like, yeah, so cute, yeah. She has to put on that show. And then Mitsuki is playing like the cutest girl in Libre Girls Academy, Now, I'm sorry, yeah, Mitsuki. Now, she got to put on a show. Now, she's nervous on her first day. I don't blame her. But she has to do something. So what better? And then she played the role wrong. She's like, call her One-sama. And that literally just sparks Mitsuki. Like, her personality just flipped into that. She's like, why'd you call me One-sama? Why'd you call me that? She literally got pissed off. She got pissed off, like, no question. Like, she didn't even want to be part of this big sister role. Now the roles have changed from this segment of Girls Love, which it still has, to like a storyline when it comes to sisterly pair. Citrus! Okay, so the next day, Hime coming to work. Oh, that girl with the blue hair with glasses, I know they gave this away. I know this is a big... I know this is a spoiler just by looking at the opening, but she's going to work at that cafe. I don't know why they did that. The girl with the blue hair with the glasses, one of Hime's friends, she's working in the same cafe with her, so I'm like, oh my God. Now I want to see how that goes. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Hime now works at the cafe. Now that Hime works part-time to make sure Mai gets back, with her broken wrist and everything. The whole sisterly idea kind of got everyone's attention. So Mai suggests, okay, these two charms. The two cross charms are a symbol of sisterly pair. Like the big sister will say, "Hey, your necktie's crooked," you know. They put on a show with that sisterly love pair. Even though they're not related, but it's still that put on a show where it's just like, oh, two girls love each other now. Their bond is so strong. The big sister gotta be helpful for the little sister. Citrus. Okay, now, Mitsuki didn't want any part of it, but they did put on a show. Sumika and Mitsuki put on that show with the whole girls love vibe, you know, with the charm and the white lilies. Oh, pure Yuri love. But then Hime kind of did it herself. She stepped in. She literally put on that. She really crushed Mitsuki in the way of with the cross. She's saying, "Which you won't accept the love, Oni-sama?" And I'm like, oh my God, she really wanted Mitsuki to be the big sister role. Now, she almost broke character in that performance. In the cafe, she almost broke performance. But in that moment, and then after her performance, she literally went to her by the ear and said, "You utterly disgust me." That is the moment I'm like, oh my God, this is war. This is war. It's comedy, I get it, and I can see why it's girl love, but damn. Talk about evil. Talk about silence, like, damn, she silenced you up. Talk about that. That is something else. So, after watching the first episode of Yuri My Job, I gotta say, I like it. It gave me some Blend-S vibes, because again, it's a cafe and everybody put on a theme show for everyone. And the thing with Yuri My Job is, it's not high-level Yuri that you see in hentai. It's not as high-level as Valkyrie Drive Mermaid, but this is more like a pure girl's love. It's somewhat pure. You know what I mean? It's like the purest of girls' love. Like, I will say not Yuri Kuma pure love level, but more like, I'll say probably a Sakura Trick pure. I mean, because I get it. They're putting on a show. They're putting on this girls' love stage play. I get that. That's why it's Yuri Is My Job, and they're playing this girl love, this whole Yuri-ness. As strong as it is, I get that. And the comedy, I can see why it has comedy humor into it. But at the same time, though, given what we got in this first episode, it's just basically Hime didn't want any part of a job. But now that she has to work part-time to fill Mai in as the manager because she played a role in this Libre Girls Academy, this Libre Girls Academy theme cafe type, you know, she has to develop as well. I do see some development in Hime, and I do see some, I get this feeling there's going to be some love. There is going to be a love between Hime and Mitsuki, even though they don't see each other apart, kind of like Yuzu and Mei. You know how one is always the positive, cheerful one, and one is always the serious. So it's like, I can feel it in the citrus vibe in terms of these two, Hime and Mitsuki, being that they both polar opposites, but they might find some love in, like, serious love. And I do now, in terms of backstories, I actually want to know, what's their backstory? Like, Mai in this cafe, how she run this. Sumika, how this gal ended up in the cafe, being all charming with characters like, and Mitsuki, definitely Mitsuki. I want to know how this purple hair girl actually became what she is, in terms of, like, she didn't want any part of the big sister drama. I mean, she didn't want any part of the sister drama. Anything like, what make her got into this cafe? I want to know. Now, I get it. When it comes to comedy and girls' love, there's always going to be a misunderstanding. There's always going to be comedy and misunderstandings to a point where just like, oh my God, this is going to be great. Now, by pure love, I just remember another pure love to this level. Adachi to Shiramiya. Yeah, Adachi to Shiramiya. That is also another pure love that you have to watch. But again, I look forward for more Yuri-ness that's going to happen in this Yuri Is My Job. I actually want to know what's going to be into this, especially Hime. I think Hime is going to develop even more in this one as the episode progresses. So I look forward for next week's episode of Yuri Is My Job, and I'm sure you will.